What's up? I'm Dustin. Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. Hope everyone had a nice turkey day, but now it's time to get back to business as we head into week 13, last week before the playoffs. Let's look at the waiver wire and the must-adds. First guy, Toby Gerhart. Going to be the most added player this week with the AP injury. It's yet to be seen how serious it is, but if you're an AP owner, I hope you handcuffed, but not many people have because he's only owned in about 15% of leagues. They play Buffalo week 13, so you're going to want to have that Minnesota running back. Get Gerhart if you can. And, it's even worth probably using a number one waiver if we get some reports that AP is going to miss time, but we like Gerhart as an ad, obviously. Next, Mike Goodson only on 35% of leagues, and Jonathan Stewart only on 55% of leagues. Now, it's yet to be seen how things are going to shake out there with both these guys healthy. It could be a terrible timeshare, but Goodson's looked really great, so we got to think it's going to be hard to take carries away from him. And Stewart's an established back. So, it's a kind of a toss-up what's going to happen out there, but we think both these guys are worth adding just to see what happens. They could give you some value down the stretch. Let's talk about some guys that in deeper leagues. First guy, Maurice Morris, only on 10% of leagues. We talked about him last week, with Javid Best continuing to struggle to get healthy. We think Morris is going to be the guy to own out there. Now, he is splitting carries with Aaron Brown, but we think Morris is going to be the more involved back, and he's going to have a lot of value in PPR leagues because he does catch a lot of passes out of the backfield. Next, Brian Westbrook. Gore got banged up on the Monday night game. It's yet to be seen how serious it's going to be, but Westbrook has looked pretty good so far. Only owning 5% of leagues. Could be a decent ad, especially if you own Frank Gore. Moving on, Legadoo Nene. All those Vincent Jackson owners have been waiting him out all the way until week 12, including myself. Sorely disappointed after he barely even made it out on the field. Nene he seems to be healthy now. It's time to pick him back up. He could have some value again, especially with Jackson out 2+ weeks, they're saying. Moving on, we got Ben Obumano for Seattle. He's looked really good over the last few weeks, only on 5% of leagues. Even when Mike Williams comes back, we think he has value. We like him as an ad for down the stretch. Next, Jacoby Ford for Oakland, only on 15% of leagues. We really love this guy in leagues that count return yards. He's not going to be, I don't think he's going to be that consistent as far as his receiving numbers, but he does have blow-up potential at the receiving position and at the kickoff return position. So if your league counts return yards, we like Ford. Another receiver for you, Derek Mason, the old man, only on about 60% of leagues. He's had a decent game in 3 of his last 4. Could be time to pick this guy up. He was dropped in a lot of leagues after some subpar games early on in the season. Next, got a tight end for you, and Kevin Boss. With all the injuries to the Giants receiving core, Boss is going to see an increased role, and we saw that on Sunday. Had a decent amount of yards and found the end zone, only on 25% of leagues. Boss could be a nice tight end for you. I got 2 pick-up-and-play defenses. Seattle at home against Carolina, only on 35% of leagues. 35% of leagues. It's a really hard place to play out in Seattle. The crowd there doesn't make it easy on opposing quarterbacks. Look for Seattle to get a decent amount of points. And also, San Diego's D, one of the best in the league, only owning 50% of leagues. You all saw what they did to Peyton Manning Sunday night. We know they have a good defense. They're at home against Oakland. They could have a good week this week as well. And I got one person for you to add to your watch list and maybe add in really deep leagues or especially keeper leagues, and that's Bernard Scott for the Bengals. There's been reports that he's going to start seeing more carries and maybe even start seeing what he might be able to do next year if they decide not to bring back Benson. So we like Bernard Scott as just a guy to keep an eye on or maybe add in some keeper leagues. Now, that's just the portion of the Week 13 waiver wire. To see the full list, get up onto the site. I'm Dustin. Brent and I'll see you later this week.